everybody, welcome back to Cindy's Crochet Corner. I'm Cindy, and today I'm going to teach you how to do the front post double crochet and the back post double crochet. In my earlier tutorials, I taught you how to do the double crochet stitch. The great thing about all of these basic foundation stitches that I taught you in the previous tutorials is that you can take any of those stitches from the single crochet to the half double crochet to the double crochet, and you can put them into other stitches or use them in other ways to create different stitches. Those basic stitches are the foundation stitches that you will use in almost any crochet project to create different looks. And by using the back post and the front post single crochet, you make something that looks like a ribbing. And the ribbing is wonderful to use in projects to finish off, like gloves, for instance. At the base of the glove, it's nice to have a ribbing stitch. It's also used for the ribbing. Here's a doll that I made, and around the base of the sweater and around the sleeves of the sweater. It just gives it a nice finished look. Also, the front post and back post double crochet for ribbing. I made this tiny little slouchy hat for the doll, and you can make anything from hats to ribbings on beanies, on sweaters, on gloves. You can also use this stitch for pot holders or for dishcloths or dish towels. It's a great stitch for that. So let's get started. For today's tutorial, I'm going to be using a cotton yarn and a G or size 4.25 millimeter crochet hook. So we're going to start by creating a slip knot, and we're going to, for the front post and back post double crochet, you want to crochet in multiples of 2. So I'm going to crochet 20. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And then you're going to do 3 stitches after that for your turning row, and I explained that in the previous tutorials as well. You always crochet, when you're doing double crochet, you crochet 3 more stitches than you want the length of your project to be. And for front post and back post double crochet, you want to create a project that is a multiple of 2. So it doesn't matter how many stitches you put in, as long as it's an even number of stitches. So to begin with, we begin with a chain of 23, and I'm going to skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. And for this foundation row, you're just going to double crochet all the way across to the opposite end. So now that we have our stitches, our foundation row all the way to the end, we're going to go ahead and chain 3 and turn your project. And now we're going to start, you always begin with a front post double crochet. And as I explained in a previous tutorial, the stitch that you make with your double crochet is a post. And so in earlier tutorials, when we crocheted in rows, I told you to go into these top 2. And in most crochet projects, that's what you'll do. But if you're doing specialty stitches, and especially the post stitches, you're going to go around the post of the stitch instead of the 2 chains at the top. So you're going to yarn over. You're going to wrap, for front post double crochet, you wrap around the post from the back to the front, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's just a double crochet there. The only difference is, instead of going into the top stitches, you're going into around the post. So that is the front post double crochet. Now we're going to do a back post double crochet. Yarn over, and then you're going to go to the back of your project, and you're going to go on top of the post and out the back of the project again, and you're going to complete your double crochet. Yarn over, pull it through the post, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two. That's the back post double crochet. And it's they are abbreviated. The front post double crochet is abbreviated FPDC if you see it in a pattern, and the back post is BPDC. So let's watch that one more time. Yarn over, insert your hook from the front to the back and then out the front again, yarn over, and then complete your double crochet. And then to do the back, you just go through the back. So it's a little tricky if you're not used to doing it. Go through the back, over the post, through the back again, and then complete your double crochet. And then you do this all the way to the end. And the great thing about this stitch is you can do so many things with it depending on how many front post double crochets you do and how many back post double crochets you do. For instance, some projects call for four front post double crochets in a row and then 4 back post double crochets in a row, and it creates a different effect. It actually, you can create a basket weave stitch doing that, and in my next tutorial I'll show you how to do the basket weave stitch, and it's a really pretty stitch. And the great thing about these front post and back post double crochets, they're really pretty, and people think that, oh my gosh, it's such a pretty pattern that you know it's very hard to do and that you spent all this time on it, when in reality it's an extremely easy stitch to do once you learn how to double crochet, and it whips up really quickly. So you can whip out dishcloths or pot holders in no time, and they just look so pretty. So now that I'm to the end of my project, you will have, once you go into this, you'll go into this last post, and then you're going to have your beginning chain here. You're not going to want to do a post stitch around that. You're going to do just a regular double crochet into the top chain of that stitch to create a nice straight edge, and then you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and turn your project. And what I failed to mention at the beginning was when you go into the next stitch, you're going to skip this first stitch, because that is our turning chain, and in that stitch you're always going to do just a regular double crochet. So now that we have 2 rows of front post and back post double crochets, we're going to start our next row, and you always start, since this is a back post, it was a front post double crochet when we were crocheting on the right side, but now that we've turned, it's become a back post. So we're going to do another back post. So you do the same stitch as the row before. So if it's a back post, you do a back post. If it's a front post, you do a front post. And so here, this is a front post, so now I'm going to go into the front post, and I'll do a few rows and then back post again. So it's just alternating front post double crochet and back post double crochet. And I will do a couple of rows and show you how pretty it is once you get a few rows done. It's really a pretty stitch. And the other thing I need to mention is you can do this with any of the stitches. So many patterns call for front and back post double crochet, but there's also front and back post half double crochet and front and back post triple crochet. So any of the foundation stitches I taught you in earlier tutorials, you put those together and you can create ribbing, and you've learned a new pattern, and you can use this on virtually almost any project, and it just gives it a nice look. You can even do a whole blanket of just front post and back post double crochets. The great thing, the reason why this is a great stitch for hats, beanies, and mittens or gloves is because once you complete all of the stitches, it's stretchy. It gives quite a bit, so it lends well if you're going to use it on the ribbing of a hat or of gloves. So now that we have gotten to the end of our row, there's our turning chain. We're going to go in that top, the top chain of the turning chain. If you can get in there. And just do a regular double crochet there. And then again, you chain 3 and you'll turn, and now you'll start. Our first stitch is a front post, because you can see the front post double crochets come to the front of the project and the back post double crochets go to the back of the project, but they each create the same look. It's just a little different on each side, and it's, like I said, it's a wonderful pattern and it works up quickly. It's fun to do, it's easy to do, and the reason it's even easier than most is because you really don't have to count the stitches in between, because you know when you get to the end of your row you're going to just do a regular crochet in that turning chain, so it's hard to miss what your last stitch is on this. So it's really a great project if you're going on a car trip and you don't really need to focus on counting the rows. Obviously the different yarn that you use will create a different effect. So this is cotton yarn. This one was done with cotton yarn, which I really like a lot, and this one is done with acrylic, so you can see the difference. It just gives you a little different look, so it depends on what you're going for. And this one was made out of wool, and so that's why it's a little fluffier there. It's a wool blend, actually. I think it's a wool acrylic blend. So it just depends on what look you're going for. The cotton works real well for dishcloths and pot holders and dish towels, and that's also what I used on this. This was I think a cotton acrylic blend, and that created a little slouchy hat. So you can do a lot of different things with this stitch, and a lot of patterns call for this stitch. And that right there is the front post and back post double crochet, creating a ribbing. If you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. My next video will be about the waffle stitch, and the waffle stitch is just another stitch using front post and back post double crochets, and that will be my next video, so keep an eye out for that. Thanks for watching. I will put all of my information beneath the video. If you want to contact me, you can do so. And thanks for watching. Have a great day.